not a 1-for-1 ratio. Not that. That's what a lot of people out there are doing. A lot of people that are uneducated, that's what they're doing. They think they're travel hacking, but in fact, they're not. And the reason I thought about talking about this is because a lot of the individuals, the new friends that we made.
Hello, you're listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Brandon Elliott. I'm excited to be with you today for the simple fact that it's been over a week. I've been out and about. Jen and I just got back from the French Alps. Does anybody have any of like those crazy friends, right? If you have a crazy friend that like invites you around the world and meets up randomly with several other crazy friends that you never got to meet, but you meet all at once and you just have a blast. Like, that's the type of friends you want to be around, right? Me and my buddy Ty, he hit me up a couple years ago and was like, hey, you want to go run with the bulls in Spain? And we were like, what? Are you serious? And he's like, yeah, we're doing this. And so we were already planning a month-long trip in Europe. So we were like, yeah, it's a couple of countries over, like pretty quick flight. Yeah, we'll make it happen. And so we got to run with the bulls and meet, a dozen other strangers that were all mutually connected with Ty. And we had a blast. And it was one of those things. He does this like twice a year. And it's been a couple years. And he hit us up again. And this time it was going to the French Alps. And so we got to go to the French Alps. It was a lot of fun. Again, meeting a dozen other strangers that all just know the one point of contact. But it's funny as you walk into having expectations, right? We all have expectations from our experiences, from our judgment, from our life learning. You have these expectations for one thing or another, and it is humbly exciting and hilarious to get corrected on your expectations on an ongoing basis. This was the moral of this whole trip at the end of the day. And I wasn't the only one. It was one of those situations that another gentleman said the same thing after I brought it up. He was like, dude, I was thinking the same thing. Like, I had all these expectations of this, and it came down to miscommunication. It came down to there was nothing bad. There was nothing bad at all that happened. Everything was good. But we just expected and thought and assumed from our expectations that this was going to happen. And instead it was different. It was this happened, and so just funny how life works sometimes. But at the end of the day, we got to go to the French Alps. We got to meet new friends, have long dinners, 3-4 hour long dinners where we're just conversating and no agenda, just enjoying life. And that is so crucial. It's so critical and needed. It really is. It is. And just having deep conversations, childhood stuff, adult stuff, fun, business, life. And it's one of those things you do when you're on vacation because you're like clocked out and having fun and you time and all this other stuff. But I remember growing up and having those long dinners from time to time as well in the past. And it makes you think about how important is that to have like those good old, deep conversations, deep dinners, like hanging out around the table and just soaking it up and having fun and meeting new people and conversating. And so it was really enjoying. It was a real reward, if you could say that. But some of the things that we did were going power gliding, where you just go up to the top of the French Alps, the mountain, and you run off the damn mountain where snow's everywhere and you're just running off the mountain with a kite. And it was crazy. It was a 10-minute, flight down into the city, and it was a lot of fun. And got some awesome footage, and we got to go snowmobiling, dog sledding. And let me tell you about one of the expectations, because I know I left that like some clickbait hanging, and I don't mean to. I don't want to go nitty gritty into all the things that expectations wise, but for the dog sledding, for example, my expectation, along with several other people, were thinking, okay, there's going to be a bunch of dogs, maybe 8, 10, 12 dogs. And then there's going to be somebody on the back of this sled that's controlling them and, kind of mush, like instructing them to keep going. And then me and Jen will be kind of sitting or laying down in this sled and just soaking it up and watching the views and just having fun on this trail. And it's probably going to go maybe 15, 20 miles an hour, which is fast, but it's not that fast, right? It's nothing crazy. And come to find out, nobody's on it except you and your 4 dogs, and you're controlling it, and nobody can sit in the middle. Like, so it was like, oh shoot. And so a lot of people on these new friends that we were meeting, they're all falling over because they don't know how to control it. Dogs are running off like wild stuff. So proud to say I didn't fall once. I got close a couple times, but didn't fall once around the turns. Got opportunities to make some cool content on sleds, dog sleds, like wild stuff. Got to go snowmobiling. That was incredible. They were like some fast ones. I've been snowmobiling a dozen times, but these were some really fast ones and cool, going in and out of the woods and fun. We got to do some e-bikes, some electric bikes in the snow, and got to race some of our friends in the snow on this track, and a bunch of cool things. And yeah, it was just really fun. It was a lot of fun. We got to go snowboarding, of course, in the Switz. We ended up in Switzerland. We got lost. It took like an hour and a half, 2 hours to get back. Got great food. Hung out a ton in France because that was the side that we were on, flying into Geneva. But we got to do all of this for a couple of reasons. Like, number one, you want to have a business that can support the lifestyle, right? Like, the business didn't stop. We were still marketing. We were still selling. We were still helping our members and doing a damn good job at it. And the business didn't skip a beat because we have 29 employees that are holding it down, doing their business and supporting our members. And so that's a really good feeling, number one. But number two is, even if you are working like a day job and you save up some money for this and you get some time off to do it, it wasn't crazy. It was just a week that we got to go, so 8 days. And at the end of the day, like, you can get time off to do that. You can save up enough money that you have that week of, security. You're not paycheck to paycheck type of thing. But a lot of people do not travel because everything costs a lot of money, right? You hear that all the time. Like, man, I would love to travel. A lot of people on their deathbed, they regret not seeing the world and traveling more. That was one of those things, like, I'll never live with that because I don't want to. Like, life is too short. I don't want to go to the Maldives or go to Italy and with all the stairs and everything. I don't want to do that when I'm 60, 80 years old. I don't. Like, I want to be nestled up and or whatever the hell I want to do at that age. But I rather do things now while I'm in good shape, while I'm young, while I'm healthy, while I'm, thriving. I want to do it now. And so I don't care where you're at in life. You could be in your 60s or 70s and you're saying, screw it, I wasn't able to then. It's okay. Don't live with regret. Handle it now. And the cool part is, well, it might still be frustrating to you because you're like, Brandon, I still need money to do this. Okay, well, let's talk about it. Let's say you do get a week off. Let's say that you do have some money saved up as if you were still working that week and like your bills are covered, right? You still need money to be able to what? Fly, hotel, car rental maybe, or transportation, and then the fun and the food, right? There's a lot there, right? And that's what adds up. But if we were able to take away like 3 of those, where it's, you can fly for free, you can get the car rentals for free, and you can also get the hotels for free, then now a big majority of your costs are all taken care of. Now, all you have to do is worry about food and fun. And I do encourage you to save up for that so that you are prepared, you are positioned to enjoy yourself and not hold yourself back, not be on some budget when it comes down to food or fun, especially the fun part, but food too. I want you to, if you're a foodie like me, like you want to enjoy yourself and see what else around the world. Like we've gone to a bunch of Michelin stars in different countries. But even with those things, eventually, if you wanted, you could potentially use what we call points. And a lot of this stuff that I'm about to teach you right now helps specifically when you have a thriving business that needs money to fuel it, right? Because then you don't need to pay cash for it and get nothing for that return except just the business, whatever it's producing, the ROAS, right? The return on your investment from the ads or whatever your marketing strategy for your business. But you can also get it just from the form of, you can get an ROI just from the form of payment that you're using. And what I mean by that is when you use the right credit cards for the right purchase, you can acquire points for each transaction. And for ads, for example, what you would want to use is a American Express Gold card because you get 4x return off points for each dollar that you spent. So that adds up frequently, right? Now, if you don't have a business, if you don't have a thriving company or something that requires a ton of money, then you can still, I know 18, 19-year-old kids that are still travel hacking the world just by living off of the credit card game. And when they apply for new credit cards and they get it approved, it comes with a sign-up bonus of 150,000 points or 80,000 points or 250,000 or 400,000 points when you know how. See, in Credit Counsel Elite, our members, we teach them how to get exclusive type of opportunities, right? But when you know how to get massive amounts of funding from these banks, up to 90% approval odds, the highest limits possible. Not those little dinky limits that you can't do anything with, like under $1,000 limits. What the hell are you going to do anything with that, right? It's going to hurt you, not help you. And then also the best terms and conditions as low as 0% interest. What, does it get better than that? Plus the insurance, perks, bells, whistles, like that's what some credit cards come with. They're not insurance that you have to pay for. I'm talking your credit card naturally comes with insurance if you know how to get that, right? And so there's certain travel perks, there's certain travel benefits that you can acquire and do these things properly, and it will take care of a lot of this stuff. So again, 18, 19-year-olds with no job are still being able to travel hack from simply getting these new credit cards with incredible high sign-up bonuses. Okay, because when you're travel hacking properly, you can literally get a 7 to 21x return off of your points. Okay, not a 1-for-1 ratio. Not that. That's what a lot of people out there are doing. A lot of people that are uneducated, that's what they're doing. They think they're travel hacking, but in fact, they're not. Okay. And the reason I thought about talking about this is because a lot of the individuals, the new friends that we made at the French Alps this whole last week, they're all making decent money. They're all in good shape. Some of them flew first class. The other half flew economy. But both of them, regardless, didn't pay points. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 people that did pay points, but they didn't travel hack it. They wasted points. Okay. They're doing 1-for-1 ratio and costing them hundreds of thousands, if $500,000 in points. That's ridiculous. Don't do that. Okay. We spent, I think, 80,000 points for ours, like next to nothing. And so I was talking to one of the gentlemen and he was telling me that, he's got 1 million points. He's got millions of points in the past. His business requires it, right? It requires money to be spent. So he's using his credit cards and he's getting some points. He's not using the best credit cards that he can get a 4x return on, but he is using, he's getting some sign-up bonuses. He is getting 1, point per dollar spent, and his business requires a lot to be spent. So therefore he's stacking up points. So he just cashed in 1 million points for just cash, a statement credit. That's 1-for-1 ratio. He's literally getting $10,000. And a lot of people are going to say, $10,000? I would love $10,000. Of course. Who wouldn't? But if you knew how, then you would, right? You could actually get 7 to 21x return off of that. That's literally like he could have got $70,000 worth of travels or like $210,000 worth of travels. Do you understand that? Like that's where I don't, if you spend $10,000 in travel per year yourself for just flights and it's just economy, can you imagine having 7 times that, like $70,000 or 200 something thousand that you could spend for your flights? Number one, you wouldn't be doing it in economy anymore. Okay. You'd actually be doing it in first class and you would be able to get the lay down experience. Anything that's over 3 hours, like really 2.5 to 3 hours long, you shouldn't be sitting in economy. You should be doing it relaxed because you're in a tight space in economy and it sucks, right? And it's actually cheaper for me to fly first class than it is to pay for economy, whether I'm using points or not. But I'm always using points. Why? Because I have them, I know how to use them, and I can't spend enough of my points. We have 5 or 6 million in points right now, and we travel hack all the time. It's because I know how to use the points properly instead of pissing them away and wasting them for a 1-for-1 ratio. I know how to get 14 to 21x return frequently. And so when you do this properly, it really sets you up for success. So I'm going to give you a couple of, number one, we're going to start off with 4 main banks that you can use for travel hacking. Okay. Because you might think like, hey, should I get one of the flight credit cards like the Delta or Southwest or one of those credit cards? The answer is no. Okay. The United credit cards. No, you shouldn't. Those points get devalued frequently. Like the Delta, for example, everybody and their grandmother has one of those cards. Why? Because they market heavily. So they get in front of you. Everybody thinks, and it has a lot of FOMO for it, thinks it's the best card ever. And then they realize like they get the card once upon a time when it was 100,000 points to get a flight. Now it's $400,000 or $500,000 for the same flight, not dollars, points. 100,000 points. Now it's like 400,000 or 500,000 points for that same flight. And the problem is because everybody and their grandmother has the card, people are spending money on it. They are getting points for it. They're stacking up billions of points here, and people aren't using them quick enough. And therefore the airlines or the company has to devalue the points so that they don't, find themselves upside down if somebody decides to use all their points all at once. Right? And so they're taking advantage of you and you don't even realize it. Okay. Now the 4 banks that you can always get the best bang for your buck on are going to be Chase, American Express, Capital One, and Citi. Those 4 banks, I'm not talking credit cards, I'm just talking banks, offer a product like a credit card that is used for travel hacking. Okay. Such as like the Chase Sapphire Reserve or Preferred. Okay. Or the American Express Platinum, right? You can use these for traveling. You can use it for insurance. You can use it for transfer. All of this to transfer the points. Typically you don't want to purchase the flight or even transfer purchase underneath their portal. They all have flight portals. You typically don't want to purchase with points underneath their own portals, but you do want to transfer to one of their partners. Okay. The partners is a very, very big deal at the end of the day, and it will set you up with tremendous success if you know what the heck you're doing, right? If you know what you're doing, it's going to position you properly to really succeed. Now, the 3 that are out there, there's also Bilt, just so you know. Like Bilt is a great credit card that is coming up for a lot of travel and perk type of benefits as well. But the 3 alliances that you want to be able to transfer to is going to be Star Alliance, One World, and then also Sky Team. Those are the three main alliances that you want to focus on. And underneath each of those three have about 20 something airlines that you can transfer your points to, and it will be a hell of a lot cheaper. And it just depends. Like sometimes you got to transfer to one airline to another airline within the same alliance to be able to get the most bang for your buck for points. But you can get a lot of these flights for next to nothing, like 40,000, 80,000, 100,000 points. We've had opportunities in the past where we've seen like Emirates first class flight. You get the caviar, the Don P special edition. You can't get anywhere else. The filet. You get butler service. You get a shower on board. Yes, a shower. You get the stars and the headrest and everything. You get just huge amount of space. Very luxurious. It feels very, very good. Hot towels and all that stuff. Butler service. You get a bar on board in the back so you can have space to walk around. It's just a very, very excellent experience. Okay, they are catering to you. And that's why they can charge $30,000 for a flight. $25,000, $30,000 for a flight. And if you wanted to use points and think that you are travel hacking for a 1-for-1 ratio, you can use it on any of these. Like Chase, you could just do it on there, or American Express. You can do it for any of those 4 or 5 with built credit cards. But if you do it on their own platforms, like American Express, Chase, Citi, Capital One, or Bilt, a lot of times it's just going to be a 1-for-1 ratio. And so it could be 30 or like 3 million points to 5 million points for that first class experience. Crazy. No good. That's not good. You don't want that. Or you could transfer to that partnership, right? You could transfer from American Express points over into Emirates flight. You got to make an account there, but you can transfer it there and it can be 80,000 points, right? That's a big, big difference. That's like that 21x return type of thing. And, getting a brand new credit card, you can get 250 or even 400,000 points. I just got a 400,000 point bonus. I could do that first class flight numerous times, and it's 16, 18-hour flight. Anything, again, that's over 2.5, 3 hours, you don't want to be in economy. Okay, you want to be in first class for the lay down experience, for relaxing, for the food, for the benefits, for just the overall freedom. Like you're not all cramped up, you're not all tense, you don't have back problems when you get off the plane. Like you can get off the plane, relax, refreshed, feeling good, excited that you're going to this new location and you're about to take over the world and have a lot of fun, right? So if I can tell you anything, focusing on if you are living with regret because you haven't been able to travel, again, you can use these points for free flights and get the most incredible experience, not the economy BS stuff. Again, it costs more doing that versus first class. So if you know, why don't you just do first class? And then second, you can do it for the car rentals. If you want to get a car rental, you could also, so that you can explore on your own, you could also do it for Hilton or Marriott. You can do it for the hotel experience. And then all you have to pay for at the end of the day is literally just your food and your fun. And sometimes the food, half of that can get covered within your hotel. Either the breakfast or dinner can get covered with the hotel. So again, we did the spa numerous times. Why? Because we had extra money left around, like that cost us. But if we wanted to use the dollar for dollar ratio and still use points, we could have. That would have just pissed the points away, which we have a lot of points because we know how to use it. But again, to each his own. Like, I'm not going to use my points for that. I'd rather use cash. I'd rather use the credit card to stack up more points, right? Another location, if you do not know how to use those transferring, when you are accumulating the right amount of points from your thriving business using the right cards, not just for sign-up bonuses. If you don't have a business, you can use it for your sign-up bonuses. Again, you just need to learn how to get those cards and get them to approve you up to 90% approval odds. We teach that at Credit Counsel Elite. I'll tell you how to get more of that in a moment. But nevertheless, if you don't have a job, you just need to learn that technique, how to get these credit cards approved and the best sign-up bonuses. Okay. Now, if you do have a business, you just need to, again, learn how to get the right cards to use for the right purchases that your business needs and stop paying cash for things. Okay. Now, when you're accumulating the right points, and if you don't know how to transfer to the 3 alliances, to the different partnerships, and you've been just wasting your points away, check out points.me. That's a website online. It will give you the instructions. You just type in the location, do yourself a favor and put in first class and not economy anymore. Okay? Once you go first class, you'll never go back. We've been flying first class the last 8 years or longer, 8, 9 years. And what I can tell you is I've flown economy, I think once or twice in that time frame. And I remember one time specifically, I missed my flight. Well, real quick story on this. It wasn't a missed flight. It was a missed flight, but it was the wrong airport. It was the one and only time I fly without Jennifer. That normally is very on top of our flights because I like to go last second. She likes to be there hours ahead of time. So we're always getting into it when we're heading to the airport because she's freaking out until we're getting like past security and like walking onto the plane. That's when she'll start relaxing. Me, I'm like, we'll figure it out. We'll make it. If we miss it, we miss it. We'll figure out the next one. We'll stay in the lounge, you know? I don't care about any of it. It's not costing us anything. It's all just points. We'll figure it out. We'll have a good time. But it was the one time that she was traveling in Japan with her sister, first class, doing that experience. And I was going to a mastermind group in Seattle. And basically I ended up going, I had my flights all figured out, but I went into this one airport that I flew into. And then on the way back leaving, I assumed I was going to that same airport. And I realized that it was actually a different airport for some reason. So I don't know how I booked that or made mistakes on that. But so I went to the wrong airport to get my flight, and they were saying that I went to the wrong one. They could get me on the next flight at that location because I was missing the other flight because I go last second. But they said they couldn't get me on first class unless I wanted to wait like 18 hours. And I said, no, I just want to go home. I'm already at the airport by myself. So I was like, yeah, I'll just go home in economy. And that sucks. But they ended up hooking me up with a meal and, food or whatever. Luckily, it wasn't a full flight, and it was only, I think, 2.5, maybe 3 hours, maybe 2 hours, something like that. So it wasn't bad at all. But I remember feeling like what a moron, and being that it's like tight, smaller seats, and they took care of me, but they didn't need to, right? And just sitting in a bigger seat, relaxed space, all these things, it's just nicer. Okay, you can board first, you can get off first. It's just a different experience is what I would say. You're going to want to experience that yourself. And when you realize that you're actually saving money and it's cheaper using these points for first class versus economy, then you'll do it every single day. So use points.me, use the right credit cards, use those 4 or 5 bank products that I was mentioning. And if you have a thriving business, or you don't, but you have goals and ideas to start a business, then you're going to want to figure out how to get the up to 90% approval odds, the highest limits possible. We've had people get 100,000 on a credit card. Okay. Their first time applying. $100,000 limit on credit cards. Also, the best terms and conditions as low as 0%. Can you make money off of something from if it's costing you nothing? Yes, I think so. You could put it into a CD, for God's sakes, a money marketing account where it's liquid. You can use it any given time, and it's making you 4.5%. Okay, so why not? All right. When there's a will, there's a way. We teach all of this here at Credit Counsel Elite, where we will guide you step by step, You get an accountability partner, member success manager, myself, director of fulfillment, not just in DMs and one-on-one group calls or one-on-one like coaching calls, but also we have group meetings Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We also have do work with me twice a week. So there's no excuse for you not to succeed and win. It's our guarantee, which is our pledge. We work with you until you're happy, satisfied, and a raving fan to be able to get up to $500,000 with rates as low as 0% and being able to repeat it every 6 months per person. Now, if that interests you, we have this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We host this once a month, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the March 27th, 28th, and 29th, you're not going to want to miss it. It is literally the breakdown of what the heck we have going on here and how you guys can access, like we're teaching everything to you. Okay? So what I want you to do is grab your ticket. Okay? It's going to be creditcounselelite.com/gain-access. Okay? So creditcounselelite.com/gain-access. Or you could simply just go to my bio on Instagram for Brandon Elliott Investments or Credit Counsel Elite on Instagram, which if you're not following us, you should be doing that. So do that right now. Follow us, Credit Counsel Elite or Brandon Elliott Investments. In the bio, you'll see how to be able to grab your ticket for this event. Okay. You're not going to want to miss it. Our VIP ticket, it's normally $400. We have it discounted at $147. Number one. Number two, it comes with a course that should have been taught in school, should have been taught at the dinner table, teaching you the playbook. And then we have literally a playbook on how to optimize off of it and take the course and the content to the next level. Plus, if you like reading, we have the second best thing next to the Bible, okay? It is Unlock Your Full Credit Potential. It's basically the whole course that we have in our elite programs written out for you so that you can implement. If you like reading, you're going to love this because it breaks it down to a simplification to make it very, very easy for you to understand, obtain, and crush it. But needless to say, you get access to me that weekend to ask any questions. You're going to get the instructions on how the banks and lenders are judging you, the 45 metrics on the game, the rules behind the scenes. This is real life Monopoly. The banks want to lend to you, keep in mind. They just don't want to lend to high risk individuals. Okay. They have this box of lending that they're trying to fit you within. And if you say the wrong things, if you position yourself incorrectly, if you do the wrong stuff and shoot yourself in the foot, you are naturally jumping outside of the box. That's not going to serve them, and it's not going to serve you, of course. It's wasting your time and wasting theirs. That's not what they want. They want low risk, and we can teach you the rules to the game so that you fit directly in the center of their box of lending. In addition to that, that's how you get all this to work. You get massive amounts of results, okay? Our average is 370,000 per member, but we've had members hit $1 million. We've had members hit 750,000. Okay, 600,000 all day, 500,000 all day. Okay, just on the business side of credit, let alone personal. Then we've had like our lowest are getting 200,000 plus. Okay, if they can do it, you can do it. Trust me. And we have a list of 9,500 banks, state by state, in order from top to bottom, which ones are giving out the most funding. Okay. We're going to teach you how to fix credit. We're going to teach you the rules to the game. We're going to teach you how to boost your score up to the 800 club in 30 days or less, guaranteed. Guaranteed. After the fixing is done, step by step, I can show you how to do that. Okay? On your own, it's going to change your life because you'll get better terms, better conditions. You'll get better approval odds. Of course, there's more to it than just your FICO score, but we'll teach you all that weekend. Okay? We're going to talk about, lastly, how to leverage. We're going to talk about putting the bank policies, bank rules, putting the applications in the right order to be able to get up to 90% approval odds. And we're teaching all of this at the comfort of your home, but also in a virtual event experience so that you can play full out and get an incredible ROI. And we give a guarantee even on your purchase for your ticket that if you leave that event and feel like you didn't get a 10x return on your time and the money that it cost you for that ticket, just ask for us, let us know. And we obviously made some mistake. We will ask for your feedback, but we will give you the money back. If you don't feel like you stole from us at the end of the day, we don't want to work with you. It was a bad fit. We made some mistake and we want to make that up to you. So we'll bless you with the information. We'll bless you with the stuff. We'll take any feedback that you give us and we'll give you the money back and we can go separate ways. But we've never had that happen once, and we've done dozens and dozens of these. We've helped out over 4,000 people since 4,000 members since 2017. Okay. So I want you to come to this event. Grab your ticket right now. Again, it's in our bio for Credit Counsel Elite on Instagram, or on Instagram, it's Brandon Elliott Investments. Just in the bio, you can grab your ticket, or you can go to creditcounselelite.com/gain-access. That will grab your tickets. Again, it's bananas. It's going to be wild. I promise you, you're going to walk away with so much information. But do not sleep on this. Let me be very, very crystal clear. Do not sleep on this. If you want to change your life, for your family, for your future, for your finances, do not sleep on this. Clear your schedule that weekend. Go through the information and the gifts that we give you ahead of time. Okay? Like, soak up all this knowledge and be present, be persistent, and come anticipating. Because if you do, and those who do, they will get the most incredible ROI they've ever experienced. Life transformation. I promise you that. Mark my words. In fact, I dare me on this. Take a leap of faith and just take care of the babysit. Have somebody take care of the babysitting. Have somebody take the kids to practice. Have somebody clean your work schedule, take vacation days. This is going to be that impactful. Okay. You'll get the replays if you're in the VIP and so forth. Otherwise, we have other affordable tickets as well, as low as $27. So you truly have no reason not to absolutely change your life with this stuff. And we pray that you do. Okay. Excuse me. All right. Again, I showed you different techniques, gave you resources for the different banks. I want you to be able to travel the world with your friends and family so you live with no regrets at the end of the day. Jennifer and I have been to dozens and dozens of countries, amazing experiences, amazing memories, the 3-4 hour long dinners, with strangers and friends that become friends over time. And I can tell you that seeing other cultures, experiencing new adventures around the world, there's nothing better. Challenging your expectations to have something completely different, there's nothing better. I have a fear of heights, and getting to run off of a mountain in the French Alps, it's something you can't pass on, right? And so I got to do that, and it was the most incredible experience. We have it all on camera and all the wild stuff, so you guys will see that soon. But I don't want you to live with any regrets either. The points.me website, that's a great resource that will just show you step by step. Click in the location, where you're going, dates and so forth. It will give you the clear how to bake a cake type of recipe. Go to this website, click here, this is the best bang for your buck, transfer these points from there to there. It makes it very, very easy. Okay. And so anyway, I just don't want you to live with any regrets. You can, if you knew that we were traveling the world and spending next to nothing, and we were doing all first class, all incredible experiences, we did a whole month in Europe and I spent, I think, $10,000, maybe less, $8,000 to $10,000 in total. And it was only on food and experiences. And let me tell you, the experiences were wild. And it was for a full month. And the food, incredible. Top notch. Okay. And we still couldn't outspend ourselves, And I didn't need to. If I wanted to tone it down a little bit, still eat good, still have some fun experiences and adventures, it could have been a third of that. But we really ball out in those areas because we can. We have a thriving business. We're doing this. Life is short. We're not promised tomorrow. And we have enough points to do it. And we have a business that supports it. So next month, Jen and I are going to be taking off for about a month. while the business supports itself, runs, keeps going. Like, we're going to be going to Cairo for Egypt, seeing the pyramids. We're going to Africa to do like a week-long safari trip. We were planning on going to Dubai and then Maldives, but because of the war, we'll see where we're going. We got all of this planned out, and then we will be making some changes. So stay tuned. It's going to be epic. It's going to be a full month, a lot of fun, but we're not paying for any flights. Okay. We're not going to be in economy. We're going to be in first class. We're not going to be paying for any hotels. We're paying for the fun and the food, and you can too. All right. So anyway, if you want to learn more about any of this, you can literally book a call with either myself or our team, but I would be happy to jump on a call with you. Simply DM us on Instagram. Or if I don't see you on Instagram, go to our website, creditcounselelite.com, and just click to book a call with us. We have a 5-10 minute video that explains more about what we do. If I didn't make it clear enough, then that should do the trick. We also have a free webinar that we do several times throughout the week. Register for that. It's 1 hour long, great training, and it breaks down the math behind all this and how we can serve you. And again, if you're looking for up to $500,000 with the best terms and conditions, up to 90% approval odds, and the highest limits possible, then stop screwing around, stop wasting, start traveling, but learn this here at Credit Counsel Elite. And I pray that you get your ticket for the 0% Capital Bootcamp, because I know what it can do for you and your family, your finances, and your future. So with that being said, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. What are you waiting on? Do that now. Love you guys all so much for all the 5-star reviews. You guys keep it coming. You are amazing. And we will catch you on the next episode. Till then, guys, God bless. We'll see you next time. Peace out.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time, God bless.